Today, let's talk about comparing yourself to other people. Now, a lot of people will tell you not to, and in general, I agree with that, right? It's not a competition. I don't think that art should be a competition. In fact, I hate all that stuff. Like, I love the dance world, for example, but I hate dance competition. I really do. It's an art form. I don't know why it suddenly has to become a sport. I get it. Some people like that. That's cool, but it wasn't designed for that, and it drives me batty. So I'm mentioning that so you understand what I'm talking to you about today isn't about competing. What I want to talk to you about is looking at other people through a logical lens. Like, just pretend you're Mr. Spock. It's not about the actual work. It's about what are they doing. So let's say you're an actor and you're auditioning all the time and you're not getting parts, but someone else you know is. Okay? Or you're a filmmaker and you keep getting rejected from certain film festivals and other people you know keep getting into them repeatedly. And you're like, well, I don't understand. What am I doing wrong? Maybe I'm no good. And that's not true. And that's why it's good to look at why other people are getting in, what their situation is. So let's break down some of the things you might look at. Some people are connected to organizations, whether it's they've been in a lab at a big film festival, so they have that traction already with that big film festival. Or they teach at an Ivy League school, and that school is pushing their work and wanting them to get into things. Or maybe it's a monetary thing and they just have more money than you do. And there's nothing you can do about any of those things, is my point here, right? I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to go back to school, write a dissertation just to become a professor, work your way up to being an Ivy League professor when you never wanted to teach? Teaching is a noble art form, but you have to want to do that. You can't spend years because maybe someday it will get you into that dream festival of yours. No, you can't do that, right? So you might think, oh, I get it. They're connected. Or when they started out, they were lucky and talented as well and got into these labs that I either never applied for or I didn't get into for whatever reason, and that has put them on a track. And you can't go back and make those things up. It's not possible. And you can't suddenly be a professor, and you can't suddenly have a lot of money. I mean, unless you're really lucky and you win the lottery. It's just not going to happen. And a lot of people can put a lot more time in to their art form, okay? They might have a spouse that makes money and they don't have to, quote, work a job. Their job is being that artist, whatever that is. So they can put in 60 hours a week into being an artist, and meanwhile you're working 30, 40 hours a week to earn money, whether it's freelancing in the industry or it's working a corporate job or some kind of combination. You don't have as much time. It's going to take you a little longer than the people around you who are in that situation. They can also hire PR people to really promote them. I mean, imagine if you could just snap your fingers and hire a PR company that can put $100,000 behind you or more, right? Or their films are just funded. They don't worry. They can just keep making films because they have a trust fund. Again, whether it's time or money or connections that you don't have, that's not about your art. It's not about who you are. It's about then stopping and saying, do I give up on this very specific part of my dream because I don't have all these other things people have, and maybe you need those to get to those things? Maybe. Or maybe you say, well, I don't have those things, so it's going to be harder for me. So I have to figure out another way in, if that's really a path I want to get to. So whether it's a specific lab or a specific film festival, or you're an actor and you want to get involved in indie film and you can't just like pull out a wallet and be like, well, I can fund the movie if you let me star in it. That's called pay to play, by the way. And some people do that to get themselves going. They kind of make their own work in that way. If you don't have that, you can't do that. But there are other things you can do. There are other ways to meet indie filmmakers and get involved that don't cost money. But I do think it's important to have that perspective, because otherwise you sit there, because I've been there recently. I was feeling very down about where I'm at, to be honest. And I started looking at people who were getting places that I wanted to be at. And I realized, oh, right, they're in this situation. I'm not. It's not about the work. And these are very talented people, very deserving. And that's why it's important not to get competitive and get catty, because there's just no room for that, okay? We all need to support and take care of each other, or at the very least, just be neutral, right? If you don't like somebody, I get that. But, that's just like you become the negative, cynical, horrible person that you don't want to be. But looking at things factually and going, well, that's great. I'm really happy for Jane Doe that she got into this wonderful film festival that I've been trying to get into. And now I can see, yes, she makes great work and she's fabulous, but she also has X, Y, and Z. And just knowing that at least gives you a little bit of comfort. It's not you, it's the circumstance. And that doesn't mean you give up. Again, in some cases, you might say, you know what? I see that everybody that gets into this particular film festival has either been in their labs or was a judge for them or worked for them for years. You might say, well, you know what? Maybe that festival just isn't for me. I don't have all those things, whatever they are. But these other festivals may have some of that, but there's room for me there, and they seem to like my type of work. If you're an actor, certain agents, if you're young, they take people right out of certain colleges, and that's the people they take. So maybe that agency isn't right for you if you didn't go to those places. But there's other agencies that are just as good that might be perfect for you in your circumstance. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying quit. Oh, well, I'm not connected, so I should just give it up. No, you're an artist. Keep being an artist. And the most important thing is keep doing your work. Whether you're an actor making work for yourself, and I'm going to bring somebody on to talk about that, or you're a filmmaker who's trying to move ahead, you got to keep making films. You're a filmmaker. You have to keep going. So keep going, but keep it all in perspective so you can stay sane.